To all who come to this happy place, welcome.
Welcome to the Talk About the Magic podcast, where you'll find inspiration and encouragement tied together with the magic of Disney. Now, here's your host, Joseph Ballesteros.
What is going on, Magic Cheers? Thank you so much for joining me today. It is Talk About the Magic. It's Sunday, maybe. I don't know when you're listening to this, but it goes live Sunday. So I hope you're having a wonderful day, whatever it is you're listening to. Maybe it's just a weekend, maybe it's a weekday, weeknight, whenever it is. I hope you have had a wonderful day so far. Thank you so much for spending your time with me. I will do my best to not waste your time. Talk About the Magic, of course, is all about inspiring the go-getter and Disneypreneur in you. Disneypreneur is a state of mind. It doesn't necessarily mean you have to be a fan of Disney. It's just the idea behind the fact that with Walt, we see he was faced with a lot of issues in life, and he was able to conquer them because he had his eyes set on his dream and goal. And that's what we want to do here too. So thank you again, guys, for taking time out to join me. And if you would love to help out the show, always remember, easiest way is just to share it. Let people know. Say, hey, have you heard about Talk About the Magic? You can listen to it on your phone. You can listen to it on a website. But just share the podcast, share the website as much as possible. It really helps out the show. If you want to leave a review on iTunes, that would be extra awesomeness on your part because it does help out the show in letting other people discover it. So, just head over to iTunes there. You can leave a rating and a review. That is awesome. It doesn't even have to be a good review. Like if you really hate my show, write it. It still helps me out. So thank you for that. But in today's show, I wanted to talk about something that I faced personally these past couple weeks, and that is distractions. Everybody has their goal. They have a mindset. They have a dream of what they're wanting to accomplish. And I shouldn't say everybody, but the ones who do, they have this idea of what they want to achieve. And it's funny because there's kind of two things that come at you. There's negative things that will, whether it's life, maybe something happens with your family members, whatever it is, it comes at you in one end, and you have to just push through, right? You have to get over that mountain. And then there's this other side. And this other side doesn't necessarily seem negative. It doesn't necessarily seem something that could take you away from accomplishing your goal and your dream. And a lot of times it actually seems like it's going to help you, and it ends up being a distraction. And distraction is a huge, huge dream killer, because do you know what distraction takes away from you? Don't shout it all at once now. Actually, if you answer it out loud, that's awesome. But just, I can't hear you. I'm sorry. So I'm going to pretend like you said the right answer. The number one thing that distraction takes away from you is time. That is the one thing that we cannot get back. And because time takes away from us. It takes away our age, takes away our health, it takes away our ability to do certain movements, takes away our mental capacity. Over time you lose these things. And so these distractions take that away. And it's extremely important to not allow that, because if you just keep going down the rabbit hole of distractions over and over, you realize, oh my goodness, I'm really far from my goal, and I thought I was getting closer, and instead I'm just going down, down, down. And it's something that I kind of was struggling with this past month, because my goal is to make this show able to stand on its own. And my goal is to make this show able to be my number one source of income, so I can give my number one source of time to it. You know what I mean? Give it all that I have. And I've done a lot of things that I think a lot of us do, especially if we're in this market of YouTube and podcasting and blogging, which is we start looking for how-tos, and we want to get taught kind of this magic formula that we apparently don't know, right? And so we're looking for this magic formula, and we end up just going down this rabbit hole of distractions, because all we see is, 10 tips for this, 5 tips for this, 7 tips for this, 12 tips for this. And you end up reading and reading and reading and applying and applying and applying these practices to your life, or to your, your podcast or your blog or your YouTube. And it doesn't work. It doesn't seem to work. And you just realize you've wasted a lot of time on it. Some of the information out there is good. It's valuable, but you kind of see a trend, and especially if you're somebody who's looking at stuff like that a lot, you're able to kind of pick and know, okay, this is more of a spammy thing. And that kind of will go with anything you're doing. You don't just have to be in podcasting and blogging. Like, it's funny because I want to lose weight, and I'll find myself reading 4 or 5 different, blog posts of how to lose 10 pounds in this way, or I'll listen to a podcast or watch a YouTube video of how to exercise a certain way. And I realized, like, oh my gosh, if I spent this 45 minutes of reading or watching this videos on actually like working out, I would have actually been losing weight. You know what I mean? Even though the distractions feel good, I think I'm doing right because I'm spending time learning these things. I realize they still took me away from my goal. Like, in the end, all the exercising blogs, all the exercising videos that you watch are going to say the same thing. You got to move, get active. And you know that already. Especially if you're like me, where you've been, heavy all your life, and then you lost weight. You actually did it. You lost a lot of weight, and then you gained it back. You know what it takes. Like, let's not kid ourselves. I know what it takes to lose weight. I still don't do it though, and it's bad. And that's the stuff that's the habit I'm trying to kick. I'm trying to get over that. And I'm exercising more. My goal, like I've told you guys, and I've almost reached it. But I got to keep going at it, which is the 6 miles of when I'm doing my exercising. And I was working out every day. And you know what? That's dwindled down to 4 times a week. I have to get back on it. But I digress. The way I'm saying it, though, is, like I said, on those other days, I've realized, like, I just spent, 20 minutes here reading this article. I just spent 15 minutes watching this video. I could have just been doing 15 minutes worth of jumping jacks, or 15 minutes worth of push-ups, or 15 minutes of running in place. But the brain doesn't think that way. We see this as a positive thing, so we kind of allow ourselves to get distracted. And when we do that, we unfortunately lose a lot of that number one thing, and that's time. And so it's funny because this past month, like I said, I'm trying to make this, I want this to be my number one source. And I'm reading every article. I'm taking every class. I'm, signing up for every seminar. And I started realizing that it was all getting repetitive. And listen, I'm not in any way trying to knock down, if you're a marketer, social media marketer or something, I'm not trying to knock you down. I believe there's value in a lot of that stuff, especially when you're barely starting out. And I will forever be grateful to The Hub and Lou Mangello, because if not had been for his courses, as far as, being one-on-one, and it's not even a course, it's more of a personal kind of, journey that he takes with you, I wouldn't be doing this show, because he really helped me to understand what I was really wanting to offer into the world. But, I started realizing this stuff where I said, they're all sounding the same. All these people are telling me the same thing. And you know what that thing was? At the very end, you know what that thing was? It was buy. It was click now because this is a special offer. And I started thinking, if you guys are so good at marketing, why on earth are you doing this? If you've made millions of dollars helping multi-million-dollar companies, why do you need my money? Now, again, I'm not trying to talk negative. I'm not over here saying they're scam artists or nothing. No, what I am saying is I realized you guys know that I'm willing to be distracted. You know that I'm out here searching for, whether I realize it or not, for distractions, because I'm looking for how-tos and quick ways. But you know the true secret, just like I know the true secret. And this is something we talked about with Lewis show last week, which is you need passion, you need the wanting to work for it, and you need patience, because it takes all those three. You got to have a love for it. You got to have passion for it. You got to have patience. There's no way for you to immediately get where you want to be. And if you do, it's probably going to end up messing you up more. And so, the reason why I think it really burned me out so quickly with this is because now, in case you're not aware, let me let you know, Facebook and Google and pretty much any other social media thing that you use gives the ability, or actually tracks what you're doing, right? So if you ever go to Google and you're somebody who blogs, you go to Google and you say, how do I get more readers to my website? You're going to find that little by little, when you go on YouTube, signed into that account, when you maybe not even signed into that account, because I think they use your IP address, but when you go, I don't know if you can hear my kids laughing. They're playing Minecraft, and apparently they just did something really funny. But you go on Google. Afterwards, if you go on YouTube or even another Google site, like even if you just search up something completely different on Google, you're going to see these ads pop up regarding marketing. If you're on Facebook, same thing. If you're on Amazon, same thing. If you go to Amazon, you search drumsticks. All of a sudden, your Facebook, Amazon ads that are there just are going to be drumsticks. It's because they follow you. So I started getting these ridiculously long videos on YouTube before the video I was trying to watch. And it's funny because, it's my lunchtime. I'm going to enjoy eating my lunch and watching some Big Fat Panda, right? So I'll go to a YouTube video, looking for some Disney video and stuff just to relax and enjoy my lunch. And I'll get this 4 to 5 minute video of such and such who's going to tell me how to make sure I get over 10,000 emails on my email list, just like he did. He started off, he was living with his mom. Everybody lives with their mom. I noticed that. Every single one of these marketers, if you listen, they always say the same thing. I was broke. I was really in debt. And like I said, I'm not over here mocking you. I'm not over here saying that they're lies. I'm just saying they know what they're doing. They know that I'm looking for a distraction, and so they are supplying it for me. And so I kind of got burned out because I just was getting hit over and over about, I'm going to show you how you can create an email list that's going to get you $100,000 in a month. Now, think about it. Doesn't that sound amazing? That sounds incredible. Like, But what they actually do, and again, I'm trying to talk. This episode kind of sounds like I'm just talking bad about marketers. I'm not trying to do that, but what they actually end up doing is they take away the human aspect of what it is I'm trying to do, and they take away the idea that these emails are people, and instead put in there as quick dollars. And so it burned me out, and I kind of realized that after seeing over and over these different ads that were like that I was apparently looking up too much on Google how to make a better podcast, how to do a better blog site, and these people knew that. They were looking for that. They're like, so they said, when this guy is searching for this, I want to pop up. And so they were popping up everywhere, and they were becoming the distractions that I myself was looking for. In all honesty, I was looking for these distractions. And I didn't see them as distractions at the time. But of course, like I said, looking back at it, I realized it was wasting time. Because I know the secret to making this podcast grow. That secret is you guys. And I know what I need to do to get you guys motivated to help it to grow. I need to do a good job. You know what I mean? I need to offer something to you guys that you guys feel like it's worth sharing about. But there's no quick way. I can try to convince you by lying, or I could try to scam it up, or whatever you want to say. And sure, that might work for a little bit, but that's, in the end, I'm going to still, be shot in the foot because I'm over here now talking to nobody because everybody left because I did it so quick and abruptly, and I stopped caring about the people on the other end. And so it's like I said, in this case, I'm talking regarding the podcast, but it really is with anything, because the same thing when I was looking up videos of how to lose, how to get better, abs quicker, how to, I'm going to be real with you right now, how to get a better butt. Right, that's right. I feel like I want to work on that. How to get better biceps, how to get stronger arms, like all of these things. And I realize they're all distractions because I know the number one key to losing weight, first and foremost, is your diet. Second, it's exercise. The doctor has been saying this for years, and I never listened. For some reason, I feel like, doctor, you don't know. I'm going to listen to this guy on YouTube who I have no idea what kind of medical history he has. I have no idea what kind of training he has. I'm just going to trust him because he has bigger muscles than I do or than you do. And so, like I said, it's not to knock anybody in gaining wisdom. I think there's always benefit in gaining knowledge and wisdom. I just say you want to, just like anything else, take into moderation what it is you're getting into. really focus down on what you're going to spend your time with. So, if you want to lose weight, while it's fun watching YouTube videos, and I'm not saying not to do that, I'm not, not knocking, like I said, it's not about that. It's more in the fact of, if you're really serious about it, spend that hour time a week instead of looking at videos and stuff with the nutritionist, or walking around. Watch the YouTube videos, listen to the YouTube videos, but walk around your neighborhood or you're at gym, wherever it is, instead of just sitting at the table saying, well, I'm learning a lot of good stuff, so it's okay. It's like, no, you might be learning stuff, but you're going toward your goal. You're being distracted. If you're somebody who's, trying to get better at their job or wanting to move up in that way, don't get distracted by looking at different, people and, oh, look what they did. I'm going to do what they did and see if I can. No. Focus on your job and focus on doing your job 100% the best that you can do, where all of a sudden you're getting noticed because you're going above and beyond on your job. It's the same thing here with podcasting, YouTubing, and blogging, guys. Honestly, if you really listen to the people who are doing it, who are in the place that you want to be, despite all of the different, paths, paths, paths that they've taken, they all end up saying the same thing. It takes time, it takes patience, and it takes love, a passion for what you're wanting to do. Lewis, and so many other people that we've had on here that are successful in what they are doing, they all have done the same thing, and that is they have put in the time and work into their love and passion, and were patient until they got to the goal they were trying to achieve, and then they moved on to the next one. Distractions, as awesome as they might make you feel, as good as they might make you feel, as right as they might make you think you're doing a job, it's just a distraction, and it really is taking your time away. You gotta focus in on what you're wanting to do. Don't give anything else the time that you should be giving toward your goal. It's funny because I always, again, right, go back to Walt, but I always think about this a lot. I should say not always, because I don't just think about Walt Disney, guys. I think about other things, but you know what I mean. I think about this a lot. Walt had a dream, and we saw him accomplish his dreams over and over, from animation to making the first animated film to making a theme park with Disneyland. And what's interesting is the one thing he never accomplished, that we got to see him so close to accomplishing, everything was ready to go, was Epcot. If you hear the story, he didn't want to build Disney World. He built Disney World so he could build Epcot. You know what I mean? His real goal was Epcot. And his vision for it was surreal. It was there. But he ran out of the one thing that he could not control, and that was time. No matter how much action he personally took, he could not get that back. He ran out of time. And, you might think, well, look at the distractions that he have. He didn't have distractions. He was gun-ho. And that's true. I'm not saying that he was distracted. I mean, unfortunately, he was a smoker. That's what basically is what happened. Unfortunately, he died the way he did. But my point is, you don't want to be working toward your goals and run out of time. Because who knows what the world could be missing out on. Like, that's how serious I really believe we should take our dream chasing, our goal chasing, Even, like I said, it might seem small to you. You may not think it's not a big deal, but you don't know whose life you're going to affect once you accomplish that goal and dream that you have. And that, to me, is why you don't want to get distracted. You want to put in that time. You want to give it your all, because once you run out of time, and there's nothing you can do. You can't affect those around you anymore because your time has run out. Your dream wasn't accomplished in that way. And so it's important to not get distracted, because it's easy to spot the negativity. It's easy to say, well, you're just trying to bring me down, I'm going to push through. That's the easy part because it's obvious. The hard part is when you're getting distracted, thinking you're doing good, thinking that you're on the right track, and you realize you just got distracted over and over by different things that have slowly taken you away further and further from that goal or dream you placed in front of you. Distractions can truly kill a dream because they steal the one thing that is most valuable, which is time. So hopefully, I really hope, this changed the mindset a little of what you think is a big deal and why distractions, and I don't want you to misjudge what I'm saying. It's not like I don't play video games. It's not like I don't read a comic book here and there. I know there's people out there who are like, hustle 24/7. And if you can do that, awesome. But I enjoy spending time with my kids and relaxing. I enjoy going to eat, with my wife and having, just a relaxing downtime, watching Beauty and the Beast, which, by the way, was pretty good. I gotta do a little post on that. I don't know if it's too late to do a post on that. So many people already did, but we'll see. But I'm not saying not to do other things, but I'm saying when it's in reference to your goal, if you're wanting to start a podcast, don't say, well, I'll start a podcast once I buy a MacBook and $5,000 microphone and $500 headphones. So I figure if I save my money now, I'll be able to start 5 years from now. Like, no, that's what I mean. Like, no, you don't get distracted in that way. Get working toward your goal now and don't get distracted. Anything that's going to take time away from that really isn't going to benefit what you're trying to do, take it away. Don't do it. Focus on what you're trying to do, because the distractions will take away the time and it will steal that away from you. It will stop your dream. So I really hope you got some awesome value from this episode. I know I personally struggle with this, and hopefully you guys can hold me accountable. And I'd love for you to email me. Do not be hesitant at all to email me, to send me a direct message on Instagram or Twitter, or even comment down below on the website for this post. I have no problem talking with you guys. I love being able to interact. So, look, we can hold each other accountable. That's not a problem with me. We can definitely hold each other accountable. So if you want to, you can always, like I said, email me, do that. So thank you so much, you guys, for taking the time out to listen to this show. Have a great night, day, weekend, whenever you listen to this. As always, stay magic.
This was the Talk About the Magic podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, please be sure to rate, subscribe, and share with a friend. Thanks for listening, and as always, stay magical.